Now, if you're familiar with the channel, you know that I love Vanguard. Vanguard, tanks, that's kind of my whole shtick, my whole thing that I love, right? So even I could admit in Marvel Rivals, there's plenty of things that are worth changing within the roster, and I'm talking character design, like character kit wise. There are some who have a lot of changes that I would do, and there's some that honestly don't really have any. So in today's video, I want to go over each character and what I personally think would be a decent change to them. Maybe not all of the changes I have, but one or two of them. And yeah, so enjoy the video. If you do, be sure to leave a like, comment your thoughts down below, and here we go. Now, to start things off, we're going to talk about Captain America. Now, Captain America is a very, I'd say, complicated character in the sense that if you do too much, he's going to be way too strong. If you don't do enough, he's going to be way too weak and honestly a throw pick. So, these changes, like I said, I don't think all of them should go through, but, one or two would be nice. The first thing I have is his sprint needs to be more fluid. So, like, when you're running with him, right, it's very directional in the sense of you run where you're looking, if that makes any sense. So, like, at times when you're trying to move left to right, it's almost like there's three possible lanes that you can run down. You can either run straight, slightly to the right, or slightly to the left. There's not really a smooth transition between the three unless you're also moving your camera with it, if that makes any sense. Like a lot of games or a lot of characters, when you move just in this game alone, you can like fluidly and smoothly move 360, but like when you're sprinting with him, it's very 1, 2, 3, like you pick one and you can actually see his body kind of jerk in those directions. And I don't know, that's nothing too crazy. It's just like, I guess, a quality of life thing. It's really annoying to have to also move my camera. I think Rocket, kind of does a similar thing where you can't really dash in certain directions. You dash where you look. It's kind of the same mechanic with this. Secondly, I have his Liberty Rush should work vertically. That's the charge ability where he charges with his shield. I think that how it is now is fine. Like honestly, it's fine. But if you think about it, like he's basically rushing or jumping in a, he's propelling himself forward. So in my mind, it kind of just makes sense for him to be able to do that up in the air. There's plenty of characters in the game that have moving abilities that can work in any direction. I just don't see why he can't do this, and it doesn't really seem like it would be that game changing to me if he could. Third, and this is probably the most controversial one, his Liberty Rush or like his Shield Slam on the ground. I feel like direct hits should stun. I don't really feel like I need an explanation for that. I mean, you're getting smashed in the face by Captain America's shield directly. I just feel like there should be some sort of stun or slow effect or something to that nature. Fourth, and honestly, this could just go in now. I think he has too much health. And if he were to get any of these changes, he absolutely would have to have less health, especially like the stun one. Oh my god, he would have to have a ridiculous decrease in his overall health. But the last one I have is reduce the angle on where his like deflected shots go, because right now as it stands, we have little to no control over where those go. And I know it works in like an angle of like possibility that it could go. If they could just tighten that angle a little bit, because there's no reason why I should be deflecting something and it should be going up in the air. Like, I feel like that's a little weird. There should be some sort of general straight line that it could possibly go, and I think that's just due to like angles and how wide it could possibly be. Next up, we have Doctor Strange, and honestly, I don't really have anything too crazy with this one. I think for what it's worth, he's a well-designed and well-balanced Vanguard. However, his what's it called, Pentagram of Farah, the teleportation move, I definitely think that it needs to be on a lower cooldown. I don't think that TPing, like, yes, it's strong. I don't think it's necessarily that crazy to only be able to do it once per round, maybe twice if it's competitive and you guys both capture the point and it goes to overtime. Like, I don't know. I think it should be more consistently attainable twice. I think that himself, he's not that strong of a pick with what we have in the game to where getting TP twice is that game changing, if that makes any sense. I feel like he's pretty easily handled. So I don't know. I just think that it needs to be on a shorter cooldown, just long enough to where we can confidently get it twice. And like I said, I think he's well balanced. So I don't have anything too crazy. I do have one more for him, and it's kind of general. I just feel like he needs another ability in general. I was surprised that they made him a Vanguard to even begin with. I thought, him being the Sorcerer Supreme, he'd be a strategist, but no, he is a Vanguard, and he has a shield, a move that you can only use when you deal damage. I mean, part of his whole kit is to melee in between shots, so it's like, can he really is it that detrimental that he doesn't get another ability? And I feel like with what they did with the Thing and how they've completely reworked Jeff, him getting another move isn't that out of the picture. And as it stands now, TP being as it is, like it's almost like it's not even there to some degree. So I don't know. I feel like he could definitely benefit and easily get another ability and it not be too crazy. And like I said, with him being the Sorcerer Supreme, there's an endless amount that he could get. Next up, we have Emma Frost, and honestly, I don't think she needs any changes at all to make her weaker or to make her stronger. I think that she has both good poke and good brawl capabilities. I think that her ultimate's fine. Her kit's fine, both versions of them. I'm not really happy with the nerf that she got, but at the same time, I get it. It's understandable, and she's still perfectly fine as is. So, as far as Emma goes, I think she's fine. There's nothing I would change. Now we have Groot, and let me just start off by saying getting any sort of Groot gameplay right now is complete and utter dog shit. It's miserable. I don't recommend anybody try to do it, especially with Wolverine running around like he is. But first things first, changes I would do to Groot mainly revolve around his primary fire, because I had to change the footage because I didn't even realize that that play was at the very end of the freaking round. But anyway, yeah, so like, yeah, his primary fire is kind of hard to get off. You have to have good aim, good tracking. Vanguards were not known for that. But anyway, I think that he would benefit from it going like left to right. Now, I'm not saying like as long of range as it has now, maybe reduce the range a little bit, make him more brawly, but I think that if it were to go swing left from right, that would be pretty cool in like a magic type of way, if that makes sense. I guess as it stands now, it's fine. I mean, he gets to keep people at a distance, poke. When they come in, he's able to melee. Like his melee, that's a good example, because his melee swings left to right. So if his primary was like an extended version of that, range-wise, that'd be pretty cool. So, but yeah, like I said, as it stands now, I think it's fine. It's just it's a little bit of a skill check, and that can get annoying for Vanguard players. Secondly, I don't know, this is kind of nitpicky, but Spore Bomb, the move where he throws the bomb and it blows up and it has like little pellets that do 10 damage or whatever. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that. I typically kind of use it for when I ult and they're all grouped up and I have like walls around them. I just need some quick like burst damage like that. Or if someone's really low and they're trying to run away, try and get lucky and see if I can hit them with that. But honestly, I think it's fine. Like if you want to have a bomb, it's fine, but I feel like it should do something different, maybe like a thorn bleed effect or something. But I just think as it stands, it's kind of like kind of boring. It's kind of a wishful thinking, fuck it type of move that you just kind of throw out there and see what happens. So I wouldn't be mad or surprised if they changed it in the future. Next we have Hulk, and oh my fucking god, if you thought Groot was bad, Hulk was 10 times worse, just for the simple fact of, like, me personally, I hate how he plays, and I hate playing him. Regardless, we still got him to Lord, but I digress. As far as changes goes, I literally would probably change everything. Everything. I would probably scrap him entirely and build his kit from the ground up, because it's just not good. He has a couple cool things like the gamma shields. I get it. He needs it. He's a Vanguard. His movement, the way he's able to dive consistently, sure, that's very Hulk-like. But his damage, his like Hulk form damage, terrible. Because I mean, terrible. Like he just needs to do more, a little more. I get if he did a lot more, or even if you tweak the number a little bit, it could be detrimental to the character, and he could be broken, and I get that. But at the same time, it's the Incredible Hulk. He should be doing a little bit more damage. I should not be struggling to get a kill inside of a cloak and dagger bubble thing. I don't know. I feel like he should just be able to do more. And then also his lockdown ability, it's cool CC wise. Yeah, his lockdown ability, it's cool CC wise, but at the same time, it feels extremely like out of place. I've never seen him do that before. I feel like somewhere in my head, in like an animated show or something, he'd paralyze somebody with gamma, or maybe I don't know. I just think that some sort of ground stomp ability, or maybe a move where he picks up rubble from the ground and uses that as a shield, or throws that or something, that would feel more him. I don't know. I think that if it were me, if I were to redesign the Hulk, I'd give him a little bit more damage, maybe a decently less amount of health. I would change his shield to like he picks up rubble and uses that as a shield. And then I would change the radioactive lockdown to some sort of stomp that could, similar to how the thing works, maybe reduce speed, maybe disable movement abilities, something similar. But I don't know. That's kind of the funny thing about the thing, because I play the thing and I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, the Hulk should have played like this. So I don't know. But That's how I feel about the Hulk, somewhere in those lines. And yeah, just like a full kit rework. Magneto. Let's see. First things first, I think his melee needs to be faster. I'm not talking like Doctor Strange level of speed, but it does take a while to like construct the sword and then deconstruct it after you actually swing with it. I think there could be like little tweaks here and there to make that whole system faster. I think that would help him out a good amount. I think that his passive, you know, how he's able to slowly fall. I think if you hold it or something like that, you should also be able to briefly fly. I think it just kind of makes sense with the character kit, but you know, whatever, that could be pretty game breaking, game changing. Not really, because his damage isn't too great. So, you know, wishful thinking. And then lastly, and this one's kind of big, kind of a big change, but his shield, I feel like his shield needs to work differently. I think it needs to, I don't want to say work like Doctor Strange, but I don't know any other way of wording it, because as it stands now, you know, it's a timed resource type of thing. Like, yeah, you have a resource, but you also, when you stop using it, it's on a timer. I don't know if, when the game first came out, this initially was an issue I had with him, and I kind of grew to like get over it. But at this point, I'm still wondering, could it be better? Could he work better? Would he feel better if it worked like Doctor Strange? And would it be that broken if it did? And honestly, I'm not sure. I don't think it would, but still, that's something that I would be willing to explore and willing to see if you know, see how that would work out. So that's what I got for Magneto. I take back everything I said earlier. I think the worst, absolute worst person to play might have been Penny. It was either Penny or Thor. I don't know. I don't know which one, but solo tanking on either of them is impossible. Regardless, we're gonna move on to Penny now. First things first, her bionic spider nest. I feel like this should be able to attach to walls, maybe not ceilings. That might be a little crazy, but like walls, pillars, things like that, vertical surfaces. I don't really have a reason. I also don't have a reason as to why it shouldn't. I just think that it should. I don't know. I just feel like it should. I think in the grand scheme of things, it pretty much just kind of opens up possibilities for her, avenues that you can deny, things like that. So I think that's kind of what made me think about that. Secondly, change her ultimate. Just flat out scrap it, change it. What it is right now is terrible. Like, I feel like I'm one of like 7 Penny players in the world, but I can make plays with it, but it's really just like a stall area deniement type of ult, which doesn't really feel the greatest in this game. I think that she probably would benefit if it was somehow like a move where you activate it and you just shoot out webs all around you in 360 degrees all at once, and then also spiders all at once, if that makes any sense. So you overload the area with all these webs and spiders and maybe get a burst of health, but like it be a quick move similar to Doctor Strange versus this long sprint where you're stuck in this animation. You do really bad damage, you lay out webs and spiders that might get a kill. I don't know. I think that she just would benefit if it was quick, got over with, and ultimately just not what it is now. And then lastly, this one's kind of big. The Cyberbond move, the tether move, I think that you should be able to attach it to allies and give them like shield, and then or damage mitigation, and then be able to shoot enemies and either pull yourself to them or pull them to you. Either one of those, I know that's like extremely like game breaking, but Penny's not that strong of a character, and I think that this would help her a lot. And I personally think I would love that very much. It would be pretty fun. Now we move on to Venom, and I've been saying this since the fucking beginning. Give my man another swing. Give him one. If Spider-Man has 3, there's no reason why Venom can't have 2, and I get it. He's a Vanguard, he's tanky, he's hard to kill already, yada yada yada, sure. But can we at least try it? I mean, he's not the hardest to kill. I feel like it would definitely change his gameplay and change his strength, but he's not the easiest to pick up. You know, not a lot of people like playing him. I don't think it would be that crazy if he got a second swing, but yeah, I don't know. I think out of everything that I probably said today on this in this list, this is more likely to happen, but I think it's just one more swing. Let's see how it goes, and then, you know, we can go from there. But yeah, secondly, I think that his cellular corrosion, I think is what it's called, the move where you reach out, grab everybody. I think that should do some sort of like increased passive damage, because I think as it stands now, it does like initial damage, or no, it doesn't. It slows and then it does damage at the end. I think that should do passive damage or some sort of like healing mitigation, something like that. I think that one of those would be strong, fun, and kind of honestly just much needed to the character. All right, next up we have Thor, and for the most part, they've actually added every change I wanted. I wanted the hammer throw to be a separate thing from his Thor Force. I wanted his awakening state to be able to be canceled. They added both of those. So honestly, I'm sitting pretty easy with Thor right now. I do think that his ultimate needs something. It's way too easy to escape. The fact that he goes so high up in the air kind of messes him up when he uses it in tighter spaces or smaller ceilings, things like that. So I don't know, so maybe allow him to be able to rise and fall on his own, something like that. And then secondly, this one's kind of crazy, but and this is asking for too much genuinely at this point. But when he is in his awakening state, he might need some form of CC cool or CC reduction. I don't know, because it's my whole thing with that move is that you're so vulnerable being in it, and you're sacrificing way more than what it gives you, right? Because what it gives you is just increased damage, and you're able to like secure kills, maybe take a brawl, something like that. But it's just like the downside of that is how vulnerable it makes you. Maybe just a bit more health in it. I don't know, but yeah, that's how I'm feeling about Thor. I think overall he's fine right now. Definitely wouldn't solo Vanguard him, but the changes he's gotten thus far are pretty good, and I like the direction that they're taking him. And then finally we have the Thing. By the way, fun fact, this game was crazy. I went like 18-0 and we completely dog stomped them. It was amazing. I love that. Anyway, as far as Thing goes, they added everything I wanted. I only wanted one thing from them, and that was the ability to jump to enemies. They gave us a little cherry on top by allowing him to punch flyers out of the sky, which awesome. I will always take something like that. But I think he's a good mix of strong and like a glass cannon type of thing. He's probably going to get some sort of nerf in the future where he gets less over health, or maybe just less health in general, because he is pretty tanky. But at the same time, I do feel like he's super easy to deal with. Go Punisher, go Squirrel Girl, go Jean. You can farm him super easy. And if you are solo tanking as him, I gotta hope you're not. You're not gonna have a fun time. So if he's by himself, you know, they only have 2 support, or you only have 2 support, or whatever, the enemy has 2 support, he's not hard to stomp through. But like I said, I wouldn't really change anything about him. I think that he's super fun. I think he's super strong. One of my go-tos right now, probably I think he's my second most played right now, other than Cap. By the end of the season, he's probably going to be my most played. So but yeah, I do have like 3 general changes here as we wrap this video up. One, I would try to stay away from making more Emmas, just because she does a little bit of everything and she does it really well. It makes it to where there are certain Vanguards who are kind of just unplayable against her. I think Doctor Strange, Thor, these 2 might be like the main ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Kind of Hulk every now and then, but like there's really no point in trying to play into her, especially if she has help. Like a second Vanguard, she really can just dominate the front line. That's a bit of a problem. And then let's make Reed a Vanguard. Can we just do that already? Can we just move over there? Like you guys, you nerfed him, whatever. He's still pretty strong, pretty survivable. I think let's just cut it and throw him in the role already. Last thing I'll say is I think that we need another like shield Vanguard next. The next one that comes out, some sort of shield, or overall just some main tank in general, and like not another Penny, not another Thor, someone who is like Doctor Strange or Magneto, where, you know, they're fine kind of in almost any meta of play, but not Emma, who's like best of both worlds and can completely dominate the game at the same time. That makes sense. But there you guys have it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more. Comment your thoughts down below, and I will see you in the next video.